everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. Before we get started, if you have very tight quads or hip flexors, you may want to have a strap or a belt handy. Today we're going to be focusing on our hip flexors. You may feel it a bit in your quads as well, but mostly the muscles that run along the front of our hip that we use to lift our legs. And the major hip flexor muscle that we're going to be talking about is the psoas. The psoas connects to our femur, it passes through our pelvis, and it connects to our lumbar spine. So actually, people with really tight psoas muscles, they may feel it in their lower back. So we're going to do kind of an even mix today of strengthening our hip flexors, but also stretching them out. It's really important that they don't get really tight and start pulling on our lower spine. So just stand for a moment, close your eyes, open your hands, and just pay attention to that area of your body. So start to think about your quadriceps, the front of your thigh muscle. Those are very big muscles. They're easy to find. Maybe even bring your hands down and touch your quads. And then head up a bit farther and connect to your hip flexors. So try to find the spot where the quad ends, where the hip flexors start. Notice which hip flexors run very inside of the pelvis, which run a bit more exterior. Maybe lift up one knee, lift up the other. Feel your hip flexors working. So we say hip flexors as if it's a muscle, but it's actually, we have a lot of hip flexors. We have a lot of different muscles that flex our hips, that help us lift our leg. Take one more deep breath in and out through your nose. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Try to relax your quads and your hip flexors. Lower your tailbone. And our first warm-up is going to be a short sequence that will get both our quad and our hip flexors. So I want you to try to feel the difference between those two muscle groups. We're going to start with our feet hip width and sit down into our chair position, so Utkatasana. Of course, you are using your glutes here, but try to feel it in your quad. Sit deep enough that you feel your thigh muscles start to activate. So sit deeper. Try not to overly arch your back. Come down until your chest is almost resting on your thighs. Your hands are reaching forward. Inhale, stand up and lift your right knee towards your chest. Exhale, extend your leg out. Hey, psoas muscles. These are the psoas muscles. Bring your knee in and exhale. Use your entire exhale to place your foot back down and sink back down into your very deep, fierce chair pose. Quad muscles. Inhale, come up, left knee towards your chest. Exhale, extend your leg out. Hey, psoas muscle. Inhale, knee to chest. And exhale, slowly setting your foot down and sinking into your chair. Try to time your downward movement with your exhale. As soon as you finish your exhale, you're coming back up, inhaling. Exhaling, extending the leg. Don't lean back. Maintain your body straight upright, your torso. Come down, sink down. Exhale, reach the bottom of your chair at the same time that you reach the bottom of your exhale. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, extend your leg. Don't lean back. Inhale, bring your knee in. Exhale, sit back down in your chair. Finish your exhale and come back up. Inhale, right knee to your chest. Exhale, extend your leg out. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, coming all the way back down. Try to pay attention as you move through this sequence. Pay attention to the difference between your quadriceps and your hip flexors. When do you feel each group activating? Is one set of movements easier for you? All right, 2 more on each side. You've got this. Minimal movement with your upper body as you're extending the leg, connecting your movement with the breath, sinking down as far as you can in your chair pose, your chest coming forward. 1 more on each side. Inhale, coming up, right knee to chest. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, coming down, sinking. Inhale, come up. Last one. Extend your leg. Your psoas muscle should be feeling very tired, and shake it out. Relax. Awesome work. All right, so we've had a pretty good introduction to our quads and our psoas. We now know where they are. We know what they feel like. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Lift your hands. And exhale, sink back down into your chair, and this time come all the way down to a seated position. Try to come down as softly as you can. All right, plant your feet close to your body. Your heels are pretty much as close to your bum as you can get them. We're going to come into some pistol squats. These are really tough. So for the first few, start with your hands on the ground. You're going to come up onto your left foot with your right leg extended. The foot doesn't touch the ground, and switch. Extend your left foot, lift off your bum, change again. If you can do it without your hands, awesome. It'll be much harder. So you're extending your left leg, using the psoas muscles to keep the leg lifted, and press your right foot into the ground using your glutes and your quads to lift up. Change your leg. So we're essentially using our glutes and quads on one side and our psoas muscles on the other. Try not to just lift your bum, but keep going a few inches higher. See if you can not just be balancing on your foot, but using your strength to really lift up a few inches. Whether you're using your fingers as a support or not, no worries. Either way is awesome. Either way is really challenging. So if you need to use your hands today as a support, go for it. All right, awesome work. Come down into your back. This is the second part of our sequence. We're going to do some abs with psoas. So clasp your fingers, lift your right leg up, extend your left leg long parallel to the floor. Lift your chest and point your fingers to the right side of your right leg. You're going to lift and lower your right leg without dropping your chest. Keep pulling your chest up. Keep pulling your fingers, your hands as far out in the diagonal as you can. Keep your low back flat on the floor. Your abs are tucked in. Your left leg is floating parallel to the floor. So you are using your abs here. Yes, you're also using the psoas muscles in the leg that you're lowering and lifting. Lift both legs and switch to the other side. Right leg is extended parallel to the floor. Left leg this time lifts and lowers. Chest is lifted. Your hands are reaching out to the outside of your left leg. Try not to crunch your neck. Keep your neck long. Your spine is long. Your low back is neutral. A couple more. Awesome work. And both legs up and relax. Come back up onto your feet close to your bum. You can see where you're going. We're going to do 10 more pistol squats and 10 more of our abs. So come up onto one foot, other leg extended, and switch. 9. Switch. 8. You got this. 7. Try to make it as slow as controlled as you can. 5. 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, last one. Lift. Awesome work. Come down onto your back. We're going to go through our abs again. So extend your legs. Lift your chest. Your left leg is floating parallel. The right leg is lifting and lowering 10 times. 9. 8. Don't drop your chest. 7. Keep reaching. 6. Reach as far as you can. 5. Flatten your lower back. 4. Awesome work. 3. Your right psoas is dying. It's screaming. It's strong. And switch to the other side. This time right leg is hovering. Lift and lower your left leg. 7. Awesome work. 6. 5. Toughen it out. Lift your chest higher. Reach your fingers more. Neck is long. Tuck your abs in. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale with each movement. And relax. Awesome work. Hug your knees into your chest briefly. And then slowly make your way up to a seated position. Swing your legs back behind you and come onto all fours. Before we come up into our first down dog of the day, just take a moment to warm up your wrists. So spread your fingertips, grip your mat, use all of your knuckles pressing into the mat, and shift back and forth a little bit. You are connecting to your core here, but more than that, focus on your wrists and your fingers. each time you shift forward and back, you're going a bit farther. Keep pressing your palms into the mat. Spread your fingers. Grip the mat with each of your knuckles. Stretch out your forearms, the back of your wrists. Curl your toes under and sit back on your heels, stretching your arches. Extend your arms out in front of you parallel to the ground. Spread your fingers wide and turn your thumbs in towards each other 10 times, just rotating your hands in and back to neutral without losing your parallel. Now go out, your pinky fingers going out, and then come back to neutral. Out, neutral, out, neutral, out, neutral. Now back in, center, in, center, in, center. So just warming up both sides of our wrists here. One more time to the outside, thumbs separating farther from each other. And bring your palms together, clasp your fingers, roll your hands in a few figure eights. Switch to the other direction. Take one last deep breath and then slowly make your way onto your hands and knees. Tap out the tops of your feet a few times and get ready to press yourself up into down dog. We're going to be in our down dog for about 10 breaths, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So really take advantage. Set yourself up well, pedal out your feet, bend one knee and then the other, and then check in with each part of your body. So start with your hands, make sure your fingers are spread wide, you're gripping the mat, your forearms are squeezing in towards each other, imagining that you have a block between your forearms, but your triceps are wrapping back. This is helping you spread your wings, your shoulder blades across your back. Your shoulder blades are spread wide, your spine is long. Tuck your abs in, so suck your belly in towards your spine. Keep it sucked in even as you're breathing. It doesn't matter if your heels don't touch the ground, but press your heels down towards the ground at the same time that you lift your hips up and back, lengthening your spine, lengthening your armpits, your legs. Wrap your thighs in. Imagine that you're pressing your heels out. Imagine that there's a block or a wall alongside the outside of each of your feet and you're pressing your heels into that wall. That's going to help you get the internal rotation in your thighs. Take one more deep breath. And on your exhale, jump forward or step forward towards your hands. Forward fold Uttanasana at the top of your mat. One more time, maybe bend out one knee, then the other. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, palms together at your chest. Inhale, reach up, slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold deeply and step back into your down dog once more. All right, we're going to turn our down dog into a quad strengthener. So press your fingers into the mat and bend your knees until your shins are floating just about parallel to the ground. This almost looks like a hovering child's pose. The farther back you press your hips, the more your quads will have to work. Extend your legs, down dog. Exhale, come back into your hovering child's pose. Press your hips back. Elongate your armpits, wrap your triceps back. And lift your hips, down dog. Exhale, bend your knees, hover, press your hips back as far as you can. This is the last one, quad strengthener. Enjoy it and extend your hips up, down dog. On your next inhale, lift your right leg, step your right leg between your hands and bring your back knee down to the ground, low lunge. We're going to go through a few cat-cow movements here, so rounding our spine and opening our chest. But check in with your legs first. Make sure that your right knee is not farther forward than your right ankle, so your knee is directly above the ankle or behind it. Your right hip is pressing back. The left knee is not directly below your hip. There, if you look at your thigh, your left thigh, it's on an angle stretching back. Your back toes can be curled under or the top of your foot can be flat on the ground. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, round your spine. If you don't have enough space to keep your fingers on the ground, that's okay. Bring them up onto your thigh. At the same time, press your right hip back and your left hip forward. The goal here is to feel a stretch deep in your left psoas. So notice which movement, arching your back or rounding your back, gives you a better stretch deep into your psoas. On your next inhale, curl your back toes under, lift your knee, and continue with the same movements, this time with your knee lifted. Now we're working our right quad. So you're stretching your left psoas, you're working your right quad. Your right leg should be burning. Your left leg is stretching really deeply. Squeeze your thighs together and inhale, lift your hands up, high lunge. Press your right heel back, drop your right arm down, and lift your left arm up and reach over towards your right side. So kind of making a half moon shape with your upper body, but your legs stay centered in the lunge. You're now stretching even deeper into your left psoas. You might feel the stretch deep in your hip flexors. You might also feel it in your abs. Inhale, hands up, open your chest, lean back, slight back bend, and exhale, bring your fingertips back down to the mat, drop your back knee, bring your hands to the inside of your right foot, lift your right toes, stretch your right toes back towards your shin bone, and gently let your right knee come out to the side, opening your right hip. Reach back around with your right hand towards your right foot. This is the spot where you may want your strap if you're feeling really tight in your left quad and hip flexors. So if it's really challenging to reach back to your foot, just use your strap or your towel to wrap it around your foot and pull the strap instead of having to struggle and suffer and reach back towards your right foot. Whichever version you use, keep pulling your right foot in toward the glute muscle. You're deeply stretching your left quad. And check, do some shifting and notice if you can get the stretch, not just in your quad, but a bit deeper into your hip flexors. So how low can you sink so that you start to feel the stretch a bit more deeply and not just in the superficial muscles that are closer to the surface? Your right knee is open, your right foot is open. Slowly drop your back foot. Don't slingshot it down. Let it come down with control. Bring your right knee back in. Plant your palms. Inhale, open your chest. And exhale, step back, down dog. Take a few breaths here to reset. Notice the difference between both sides of your body. And we're going to go through the same sequence. So bend your knees, hover them, press your hips back, work your quads. Press farther back with your hips and inhale, lift your hips up, down dog. Exhale, bend your knees, hover, press your hips back. Inhale, down dog. One more. Exhale, bend your knees, hover, make it your best one yet. Press your hips back. This is the last one we're doing. Keep breathing. Extend your legs. Down dog. Nice work. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot gently between your hands. Drop your back knee. Again, check in with your front knee. Check in with your back thigh. Maybe drop your back foot flat. Open your chest. And exhale, round your spine. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. This time you're pressing your left hip back and your right hip forward, looking for a deep stretch in your right side hip flexors. See which movement, rounding or arching, gives you a better stretch in your psoas. Connect your movement with your breath. And inhale, lift your back knee. Continue your cat-cow movements. You're rounding your spine. You're arching your spine. You're inhaling, opening your chest. Exhaling, closing your chest. Still stretching your right side psoas and hip flexor muscles, but this time you're working your left side quad. Your left side quad should be burning now. It's working. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Lift your hands up. Exhale, drop your left hand down. Imagine that somebody is pulling it to the ground and reach your right hand over towards the left side. You're stretching your entire right side body. So deep into your hip flexors. You may feel it in the lower ab muscles as well, where they connect near the hip flexors. Also stretching your rib cage, your armpit, wherever you're tight on your right side, you will feel it stretching. Come back up, reach high, exhale, open your chest, slight back bend, reach back, look up to the ceiling, and exhale, bring your hands down. Drop your back knee, lift your left toes, bring both of your hands inside of the foot. Let your left knee gently fall out to the outside towards the left. Look back behind you and reach back for your foot. Maybe you're using a strap or a belt here. Your right hand is a kickstand down on the ground. It's giving you support. You're pressing your right hip down. Your left hip is open. Keep pulling your toes back, your left toes back towards your shin. That's protecting your knee. See if you can pull your foot gently a little bit closer to your glutes. This can be a really intense stretch, so if you are suffering here, just keep breathing, taking deep breaths in through your nose, out through your nose, long and slow, imagining the air from your breath is going directly to the part of your body that is suffering the most, and it's releasing it. Slowly release your foot back, fingertips down, inhale, open your chest. Exhale, lift back up into down dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And at the end of your next exhale, you can either step or hop or float forward towards your hands. Extend your legs, open your chest. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up, reach towards the ceiling, and exhale, palms together at your chest. All right, get ready for our next sequence. Inhale, lift your hands. Exhale, sink your hips into chair pose, Utkatasana. Keep going down, keep sinking until you're in a low squat with your fingertips on the ground. Stick your right leg out in front of you in sort of a pistol squat like before, but this time it doesn't matter if it doesn't look quite so pretty. Keep your fingertips on the ground, and you're going to step back into your high lunge. Inhale, lift your hands. Exhale, fingertips down. Extend your right leg forward, pistol squat, come back, step, lunge, inhale, hands up. So if this is really tricky for you, feel free to bring your foot down to the ground in between. If you can do this movement from the pistol squat back into your lunge without setting your foot down, you'll get a much bigger workout. So step back, inhale, lunge, stretch your psoas, fingertips down, step forward. Every time your leg is extended and you're starting to move it back, you're working your psoas. You will also feel some pretty good quad strengthening here. So this is a really great sequence. It looks simple, but it's bringing the heat to both of the muscle groups that we're trying to work today. We're doing 8 of these in total on our right side. And when you finish your 8th one, step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Take a deep breath. Extend your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands all the way up. And exhale, palms together at your chest. All right, other side. Exhale, sink into your chair pose. Come all the way down to a squat. Fingertips to the ground, left leg forward. Step back into your lunge. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fingertips down. Extend your leg, pistol squat. Step back. Inhale up. Exhale down. Extending forward. Keep moving through the sequence 8 times. Pistol squat into your high lunge. Connect your movements with your breath. Notice that in my pistol squat, I'm not coming all the way down to have a flat foot here. You can if that's very accessible for you. But as I said before, it doesn't have to be your prettiest pistol squat. It'll work either way. Inhale, hands up, fingertips down, and step forward. Nice work. Fold deeply into your Uttanasana. Grab your elbows for a moment. Slight bend in your knees to protect your lower back if you need. Let your spine lengthen. Let gravity do the work. Bring your fingertips back down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And inhale, come all the way up, palms together at your chest. All right, we're going to go into our third and last sequence. This one's a bit longer. So forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step back into down dog. All right, check in with your hands. Wrap your triceps back. Take a deep inhale and lift your right leg. Turn your right foot out to the side, opening your hip, and then bend your knee back. So I like to turn while my leg is straight, and then I bend my knee. I think it gets me a much deeper stretch in my psoas. I feel it more. Make sure you're not dumping more weight into your left shoulder, and slowly bring your right foot behind you, pressing your chest up and open into Wild Thing. Left hand directly below your left shoulder. This is a pretty advanced posture, especially for the shoulder. If it's not accessible for you, skip it. Sit down directly from your Wild Thing, so you're facing the back of your mat. Your right leg is bent, your knees coming up towards your chest. Two options here are to bring your hands behind you or to hug your right shin. Lift your left leg, and we're going to draw big circles or big half circles in the air with your foot. So inhaling and exhaling, moving your foot from the right to the left, then the left to the right. We're doing quite a few of these, and it's very tiring in your psoas. So again, your hands can be behind you as a kickstand, or you can hug your right shin. The important part is that you're keeping your body upright, which will make sure that you are using your psoas muscle. If you start to lean back, you'll be using your core more than your hip flexors to go through this movement. On your next exhale, roll towards your mat so that you're on your belly in the center of your mat. Take a Sphinx pose. Your chest is open, your legs are active. Bend your left foot up towards you and reach back with your left hand to grab your ankle, pulling your foot towards your glute. Again, if you are really tight in your quads and your hip flexors, maybe use your strap or your towel here. Your weight is on your right arm, your right forearm is giving you a support here. Make sure that you're not dumping into your shoulder, so keep pressing up and away with your right forearm. You have choices to grab the outside of the ankle, the inside of the ankle, or to wrap your fingers forward, elbows straight up in the air, taking a half frog pose, using your palm to press your toes down towards your glute, really getting deep into your psoas and your quad. Make sure you're pressing your left hip towards the ground. You're not letting your left hip pop up. That will give you a much deeper stretch. Keep breathing. This is also a slight twist in your spine as well, so make sure you're taking deep inhales and exhales. Release your foot without a slingshot effect. Take a brief cobra pose. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, down, and press all the way back up. Plank pose. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. And we're going to go through the other side. So that was side one of our final sequence. Take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Shake your head. And on your next inhale, lift your left leg. Rotate your hips open and then bend your foot back behind you, opening your hip, stretching deep into your hip flexors on your left side, making sure that you're not dumping into your right shoulder. And slowly let your left foot come back behind you. Open your chest, press up, make sure your hand is directly beneath your shoulder. Stretch your left hand over your head. Open your entire side body and exhale. Sit down exactly where you are. So you're slightly off to one side of your mat. Stretch your right leg out. Hug your left leg in towards your chest. Your hands may come behind you, or you may keep hugging your shin. And lift and lower your right leg, making large half circles. Try to leave minimum movement in your upper body, your torso, to make sure that you're really working directly the hip flexor muscles and not compensating with your core. exhale, roll towards your mat onto your belly. Sphinx pose. Activate your legs, press your hip bones into the floor, extend your spine, open your chest. Find a kickstand with your left forearm and reach back for your right ankle. Maybe you're grabbing the outside of your foot, maybe you're grabbing the inside, taking a few deep breaths. And when you're ready, possibly if you have the space, you're rolling your fingertips forward, pressing your toes, the top of your foot down towards your glute, and pressing your right hip into the ground as well. So don't let your right hip pop up here. This can be a really deep stretch. The more that you can press your right hip down, the deeper you'll get into your hip flexors. So try to not just get the superficial stretching or the quad stretching, but really get as deep as you can into the muscles that you feel running along the front of your hip. On an exhale, slowly release your foot back. Open your chest. Bring your palms alongside your torso, alongside your rib cage. Inhale, open your chest, cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, press up, plank. Lift your hips, down facing dog. The last one of the day. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. And at the end of your next exhale, you're either going to gently step forward or lift your heels, bend your knees, hop or float up towards your hands. Extend your spine, look forward. Exhale, Uttanasana, grab your elbows, take a few deep breaths here. Let gravity lengthen your spine. Maybe shift back and forth, subtle movements. Inhale, extend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reach towards the ceiling, and exhale, palms together at your chest. Awesome work. We're just about ready to take it down for our final stretches. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, gently sit down. Slowly come down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Press your tailbone down. Extend your left leg and hug your right knee towards your shoulder. Stretching both of your hips here, but in a different manner. So pulling your right knee and stretching the front crease of your right hip using flexion, and stretching the front of your left hip using extension. Enjoy the stretch. Take a deep breath. And exhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Stretch your right leg out along the ground. Pull your left knee in. A few deep breaths here with neutral spine. Belly is tucked in, neck is long. Bring both of your feet down to the ground. Take a moment with arms outstretched to just feel the connection of your spine with the floor. Bring your feet in close enough that your fingertips almost touch your heels, and inhale, lift your hips, bridge pose. You can choose to leave your palms on the ground or clasp your fingers and stretch your hands forward, trying to open your chest, stretching along the front of your shoulders. Press your hips up and see if you can feel a PSOAS stretch here. So, what do you need to do to feel a hip flexor stretch in your bridge pose? Exhale, gently come back down, hug both knees in. One more time, hug your right knee towards your chest, extend your left leg, and exhale your right knee over towards the left side, taking a twist. Right shoulder stays on the ground, arm extended. You can look over your right shoulder towards the right side, or just leave your head neutral in the center. If your right knee isn't all the way down on the ground, bring a cushion or a blanket under your knee just to give it some support. Always breathing through your twist. Bring your head back to the center. Exhale back to the center. Hug your knee in one last time and switch. Hug your left knee in. Extend your right leg. Inhale. And exhale, twist your left knee over towards your right side. Extending your left arm out. Left shoulder stays on the ground. Maybe look over your left shoulder, including your neck, or keep your head neutral in the center. Exhale back to the center. Hug both knees in. If you need any last stretches before you take your final resting pose, go for it. And then stretch your legs and arms out and take Shavasana. Enjoy a few minutes in your Shavasana. Fully relax your entire body. Close your eyes. And thanks for joining me. Namaste. We'll see you tomorrow.